Chapter 6, the final chapter of Snake River. The fierce waters were sweeping Pia down Snake River. Mariella turned to see Anthony running along the riverbank. "Where are you going?" she shouted to him. "To help her," Anthony shouted back as he ran. The mud was slippery. Anthony held onto overhanging tree branches as he made his way along the riverbank. His eyes followed Pia, bobbing up and down in the water. Anthony remembered Russell's earlier advice. He shouted to Pia, "Keep your feet up." Pia did as he said. Then she managed to escape from the current by wrapping herself around a rock. "Hold on," Anthony called. "I can't," Pia cried. The water crashed around her. Thinking fast, Anthony saw the branch of a dead tree over his head. He reached up and snapped it off. "Grab this," he yelled. He held the branch out over the water. As Anthony leaned forward to move the branch closer to Pia, he felt himself beginning to fall. He reached for the branch of another tree just in time. Finally, Pia grabbed the dead branch. Anthony slowly pulled her in. "Are you okay?" Anthony asked. Pia sat down on the bank, exhausted. "Yeah," she wheezed. "Look, about my calling you an airhead." "Forget it," smiled Anthony. He helped her up. Freeing the raft from the dead tree stump was no easy job, but the group finally managed to do it. By the time they got Russell back in the raft, he was conscious again, but the swelling and pain had got him worse. They had to move fast. The raft moved downriver a few more yards. Leon spotted the floating paddle. He leaned over and reached for it. "Piece of cake," he grinned, holding up the paddle. "That's easy for you to say," laughed Pia. The crew paddled for a few more minutes. Finally, they saw the landing in the distance. "We made it," screamed Leon happily. "All right," shouted Pia. "We are totally cool." "Oh yeah?" asked Anthony. "Then how come we're losing control of the raft?" No sooner had Anthony asked the question than the raft began spinning towards a large rock in the middle of the river. "Feels like a whirlpool," Russell whispered, sweat mixed with the rain pouring down his face. "Whirlpool," screamed Pia. "It feels more like the Bermuda Triangle." "If I don't get an A in this class," Anthony groaned. The whirlpool held the raft trapped against the rock. The foursome tried to free the raft, but they could not release it from the pool's grip. Anthony, Mariella, and Pia struggled with the raft. Seeing another rock sticking up from the water, Leon had an idea. "If I jump over to that rock over there," he said, "you can throw me a rope and I'll tow the raft out of this mess." "Don't!" cried Mariella. "You'll never make it." "Watch me," Leon shouted as he stood up in the raft. He made a flying leap, barely making it on the rock. Anthony tossed Leon the rope that was attached to the raft. Leon caught it and pulled the raft out of the stubborn whirlpool. "Are you sure you're the same guy whose scar was itching a few hours ago?" Pia asked Leon as she carefully helped him into the raft. "What scar?" shrugged Leon. He flashed a smile. The raft floated on. Worn out, wet, and cold, the group finally paddled the last few feet to the Quincy landing. The four teenagers dragged Russell and the raft onto the muddy bank. Then they spotted a cabin. "There's a light on," shouted Pia. She raced to the door. It was open. Inside, Pia saw a man behind a messy desk. He turned from the bowling match on his small black and white television to stare at Pia. "What happened to you?" asked the man. "Just call an ambulance, sir," cried Pia. "Please." It was early evening. Pia, Anthony, Mariella, and Leon were sipping hot tea in Russell's hospital room. Russell lay in the bed propped up with pillows. Anthony stared at the bottle hanging above the bed. A tube ran from the bottle to Russell's arm. "What's that stuff dripping into your arm?" he asked. "It's a special drug to fight off snake poison," answered Russell weakly. Leon flipped through his first aid book. "It's probably a mixture of snake venom and—" "Spare us the gross details," begged Pia. She reached over and snapped his book shut. "How did Leon ever fail science?" wondered Mariella. "Which brings me to my next question, Russ," said Anthony. "Did we pass?" "Pass?" Russell laughed lightly. "After what you guys did, you can teach the next summer's course." 4 hands went up to give high fives. "Remind me," Russell went on, "never to overlook the natural powers of city kids." "Or our junk food," added Mariella. "I just hope this doesn't turn you off to the great outdoors," said Russell. "Are you kidding?" cried Leon. "My sinuses are clear for the first time in years." "Yeah," added Mariella. "This trip was better than 10 aerobics classes." "Why don't we appreciate our environment again next Saturday?" suggested Pia. "I have a better idea," Anthony chimed in. "Why don't we just appreciate a nice nature video instead?" Are you trying to slither your way out of another nature trip down Snake River? Joked Leon. Everyone laughed. Naturally, grinned Anthony.